I I started doing this thing where in the fall, when the weather turned, I would walk around the dorm dressed as Autumn Leaf. I put on some bizarre outfit. And then in the spring, I would be walking around the dorm dressed as Spring Fever. And so
I love
I would
it.
just kind of present myself as a harbinger of the new
Yes.
season. And then as I became an adult and learned to enjoy wine, well, one of the great wine rituals is the third Thursday of November is when the Beaujolais Nouveau released in
Ah,
France. And
yeah.
so I combined that with the upcoming holidays. And so I would go to all my friends, I would buy a case of the new Beaujolais Nouveau. All of this is gospel truth. I would buy a case and then I would go to all my friends' homes and I came as Santa Beaujolais. So
Mhm.
Santa Beaujolais, and I would bring everybody a bottle. And a couple of times I convinced a friend to come along and they would be the elf. And I just had such a good time doing it. I think probably COVID is what stopped it, most of all. Finally put an end to it. But every time the Thursday before Thanksgiving comes along, I always, think longingly of my days as Santa Beaujolais.
Well, what you're describing is such a critical archetypal character that we don't have enough of in our world, which would be, the sacred clown from the
Oh,
Pueblo tradition or the king's jester, right? The trickster
mm.
archetype, the one who walks beside the emperor muttering, "This too shall pass." You know?
Including you, buddy.
Yeah, so what we have right now that's the closest to that are the late night talk shows.
Oh, that's a
Some of
lovely
our
point. Yeah.
most wise human beings have taken on the task of being the political jesters to poke at us. And it is so needed because we
Yes.
take ourselves way too seriously.
Yes.
So I'm delighted that you have hung on to that character and that you long for it. And I hope you find more ways to insert that into the
Yes. No,
community
I
of
mean, I
which you are
think
a part.
back, maybe I can resurrect Santa Beaujolais, or maybe I can come up with an entire new
Mhm.
manifestation of some kind. But
Yes.
yes, I think that might be fun. And then
Yeah.
I, c- I could show up at my friends' houses and be old age.
There you go.
Oh, yes. There's a
Yes.
wonderful
Except
image.
humans.
There's a wonderful image that comes from an ancient myth about one of the Greek heroes, like a Herculean kind of
Yeah.
character,
Right.
who was so proud of his strength and bragged that he could defeat anyone.
Mm,
And so
mm.
he was challenged to a wrestling match by the old woman. And he was
Uh-huh.
very indignant because it was like, that's a no brainer. I'm just going to crush her. This is not even a fair fight. And she goaded him until he agreed to get into the ring with her. And within 3 seconds, she had pinned him to the ground,
My goodness.
said, "You should have asked my name before you accepted the challenge. I am old age."
Oh, wow.
Woo-hoo!
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
so somebody did a fabulous image of this in Mid-Journey. This
Hmm.
muscly, wiry old woman with her white hair flying. She's pinned this huge man to the ground, and he's, yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love
Oh,
it.
my goodness. That would be great.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Well, so actually, this makes me think, Carmen, part of the reason that you stopped doing that stuff is COVID. It makes me think, Rebecca, we have so many rituals involved in COVID with the mask and the hand sanitizer and all that stuff. Do we need a ritual to really get ourselves out of COVID?
Wow, that's a really good question because our re-entry into the world has been timid and tepid at best, right? So many people really do not want to return to work, for instance. I know that a lot of people are just more reticent. They'd rather stay home and stream a movie than go out to the movie theaters. Um, but the times that we're living in, this is a real challenge, isn't it? To try to figure out how to get people back into the saddle, as it were, of community.